Hi, this is Gina Wagers, and I'm going to be discussing the internal and external communication within Geary County Schools, USD 475, specifically focusing on the H.D. Carnes building where I work with 7th and 8th graders in the magnet program. So first is just to kind of map out who all is involved in communication internally. First, that would include the superintendent and district level administration. We used to have a third-party company called NOLA from Louisiana that was working with us on our magnet program curriculum. Since their contract with us is up this year, we are now kind of going back to communicating more directly with our district level administrators, specifically our director of secondary education, on curriculum decisions and scheduling. So then that information, the superintendent and district level admin would meet with building administrators, and the building administrators share that information with our building staff, which would include all of our teachers, and then our classified staff as well, like paraeducators. From there, any information that needs to be shared with students and parents either goes directly from building administrators to parents or students and community partners, or from our building staff to our community partners. We do have a unique situation in our building specifically because we do have JAG as an elective. It's Jobs for America's Graduates. They are a separate entity from the school district, so those people who teach those electives are not certified teachers. They work for JAG, but it gives us a unique opportunity to offer that to students, and so we do have to maintain a close relationship and communication with them. And then they do partner with a lot of local community partners like senior living homes to provide students with opportunities for service learning hours and things like that. So maintaining contact with them and communication is important. Externally, communication is kind of similar. On this side of the chart, though, the superintendent and district level admin work more closely with the Board of Education. A lot of that information and decisions that are being made on a district level, the Board of Education has more input on, so they kind of work side by side to share information and so that the superintendent can then work with district level admin to make decisions and pass that information along to building administrators and staff, and then building administrators and staff kind of pass that information on to students, parents, and community members or partners. In this model on this side, though, we do have our district media and marketing department working more closely with the superintendent and building administrators and staff. This is especially true when there are Board of Education meetings. District media and marketing becomes more involved so that they can share that information with all of our community and partners so that everybody is informed and everything is transparent as far as when those meetings are taking place. And then as far as on a more building level, district media and marketing works closely with each building administrator and staff in order to update their websites, push information out, and then share information or help provide opportunities to share information with students, parents, and community members. And then on this side of the model, externally, we do have quite a few more community partners that are involved in communication. We do have Fort Riley, which is very close in proximity to us. We have several elementary schools and a middle school on base. So maintaining communication with the military partner is a huge part of what our district does. Also Boys and Girls Club, which is housed in our building in the district. That's a huge service that is provided for our families in this community, and we work really closely with them. As far as St. Xavier Catholic School, we have kind of a unique situation there as well. Even though this is a private school setting where parents pay tuition to have their kids attend, we actually have employees in the district who work there as well, especially like in the special education department. We have special education teachers who provide service to students at the Catholic school. So we have to maintain communication and contact with them as well. And then we do have a local community college, Cloud Community College, which is more of a partner for the high school in our district, but still maintains communication there. As far as forms of communication, the icons next to each person kind of represent their preferred methods of communication. I think for the superintendent, in-person meetings that are regularly scheduled is probably the best way to get a hold of him or to have time to engage in two-way communication with him. Those meetings do take place with building administrators mostly, and then those building administrators can either have in-person meetings or share information as needed through email. Within our building specifically, I think our building staff prefers digital communication, whether that's email or telephone calls to one another. We do have in-person meetings pretty regularly together as well. We utilize flyers and announcements specifically for students and parents in our building. As far as the students and parents in our building, I would say their preferred methods of communication would be digital media, whether they're checking our Facebook page or receiving emails from us. I also think word of mouth, just parents having conversations with other parents, is another big way that information gets spread within our building. Externally, it looks pretty similar as far as the superintendent, board of education, and building administrators having regularly scheduled in-person meetings that take place. I did include on here, district media and marketing department does utilize email, pushing out notifications district-wide, and then also utilizing Facebook and the school websites to share information. I also included here a survey because that is another huge way. It's not a two-way form of communication, but it is something that the media and marketing department does in order to get feedback and information both from parents and community members as well as building staff within the district. And then again, students, parents, and community member partners, I think heavily rely on digital information, whether that's through email, getting pushed through Skyward, or checking the websites or Facebook pages of buildings within the district just to get information. We do utilize phone calls, and then we also, as needed, in-person meetings and one-on-one conversations. As far as the frequency of internal communication, I would say on a daily basis, across the board, the superintendent, building admin, and building staff probably most heavily rely on email or phone calls. Weekly, the superintendent does have meetings with building administrators. That is something that they do in person. On a more monthly basis, I would say email. The superintendent does push out or send updates, usually with a video included, to all of the district staff just to give updates on things that are happening on a district level. And then a lot of those things get posted to social media as well. Per semester or yearly, we do have regularly scheduled events or opportunities for communication, whether that's back to school trainings, professional development, things like that. And then as needed, again, for the superintendent, I think in-person meetings are probably the preferred method of communication. Building administrators do meet monthly with our building staff, so that is included in there. And then as needed for building admin, more one-on-one conversations. Obviously, if you're on the evaluation cycle, you're going to be having a more personalized conversation with your building administrator, but those do not happen as frequently. And then for building staff, again, just daily preferred method is digital, whether that's email or phone call. Weekly, we do update our Facebook page, and that's a good way to communicate with other people in the district, other community members, parents, on highlighting things that are happening within our building. We do put out a monthly newsletter as well, and then we do meet monthly in person, whether that's to just have a staff meeting or meet to update SIT plans for students. So those things do occur a little bit more frequently. Semester or yearly, we do have in-person meetings with parents because we do have a certain number of hours that we hold parent-teacher conferences each semester. And then as needed, utilizing email, phone calls, or in-person meetings with parents or guardians. As far as students and parent communication, daily announcements in the building are the best way to communicate with students, just to share that information. Weekly, again, having them check or look for information on the website or Facebook page, newsletters, however they want to access those digital information. We do meet with parents regularly for parent-teacher conferences, and then we do try to do surveys at least once or twice a year, just on our program within our building, just to get some feedback and information that can help us prepare to meet student needs, improve the program, and plan for the next year. And then as needed, phone call and email are probably the most preferred way of getting a hold of parents. We do schedule in-person meetings, but again, I think a lot of parents get information from one another, from word of mouth, or from checking digital media. As far as the frequency of external communication, it's very similar to internal as far as the superintendent, building administrator, building staff, and students and parents. I did add on here our community partners. As far as I know, not within our building at least, we do not have daily contact with any of our community partners or community members. They do have access to check all of our websites and social media, whether that's weekly or monthly, through newsletters or things that are posted and pushed out on the websites or social media. As far as semester or yearly, I did include the calendar here just because we do have some events where we plan to have community partners present or open opportunities for community partners to be involved in things that are happening within the school. And it does provide us an opportunity to have some two-way communication through conversations that might take place at those events, whether it's our back to school carnival or professional development training or the banquet for new teachers. So things like that. And then as needed, I would say if we do need to reach out to a community partner, usually it's through a phone call or an email, not usually regularly through in-person meetings. So thinking of all of this communication, the one thing that I noticed as I was putting this together was that within our district, I think the preferred method of communication is very digital, whether it's email or phone call. We do have quite a lot of in-person meetings that are taking place, whereas more of our community partners and students and parents are receiving a lot more one-way communication and information through digital media or social media. So thinking of two-way communication and diverse communication needs, like I said, most frequently used internally would be in-person meetings or emails. Most frequently used external method of two-way communication is in-person meetings, but they don't happen as frequently. So I would say that surveys provide the most opportunity for stakeholder input because a lot of the information that parents are receiving or community members are receiving is just one-way communication where they're getting updates and notifications or seeking information. We do have translation services utilized for all print communication and in-person meetings, and then all of our Board of Education meetings are live streamed and posted on YouTube. Communication and success. Internally, our building staff probably conduct the most frequent communication about current and future success and well-being of our students. I would say one area that we might need to improve or work on is building to building communication, because I think that needs to be prioritized so it can occur more frequently on our calendar, especially helping students transition from grade level to grade level or building to building within the district. Externally, parents or guardians involved in school groups like PTO or boosters or other activities probably have the most opportunity to communicate about their students. I think our community partners should be provided with more opportunities for two-way communication because, again, a lot of what they're receiving is just information and updates and highlights. It's not really an opportunity to engage as much in conversations about improving the school.